AI isn't some sci-fi concept anymore, is it? It's here, right now, and it has completely rewritten the rules for cybersecurity. For literally every business, this isn't just about getting a new tool, it's about learning to operate in a totally new world. So let's dive into what that really means.
And that brings up a really critical question that every leader has to ask themselves. Is the AI you're bringing into your company a powerful shield, or is it actually your biggest vulnerability? That paradox, that tension, is really at the heart of everything we're talking about today.
Because, let's be clear, we're on a brand new battlefield. The old playbooks, the old walls we used to build, honestly, they just don't cut it anymore. The attacks are smarter, the stakes are way higher, and the whole game has fundamentally changed.
What's so interesting here is how all these pressures kind of create a perfect storm. You've got AI-powered attacks that are more sophisticated than anything we've seen before. At the same time, AI itself is opening up new holes in our defenses. And then you throw in the ever-changing legal landscape and the constant pressure on budgets, well, you've got a massive challenge on your hands.
And that brings us right back to the central problem of AI and security. You really have to see it as two sides of the same coin. AI is both your most powerful shield and your most valuable target.
So here's the big distinction you need to get. On one side, you have AI for security. That's our shield, right? It's where we use AI to make our defenses stronger. But on the other side, there's security for AI, and that's the target. Because the more we lean on our AI, the smarter it gets, the more it's woven into everything we do, well, the bigger and juicier of a target it becomes for the bad guys.
Okay, so first let's talk about the shield. I mean, think about it. AI-powered intrusion systems that can spot threats a human might totally miss. Or imagine firewalls that are smart enough to adapt to new attacks in real time. And then you have these SOAR platforms. That stands for Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response. These things can automate the entire response to a security breach, making it unbelievably fast.
But you know, using AI to play defense is only half the battle. Now, we've got to flip that coin over and talk about the really tricky part, securing the AI systems themselves. This is where things get complicated.
This breaks it down perfectly. You have to think in 4 critical layers. It all starts with the data, the stuff you use to train your AI. Then there's the infrastructure, the servers, the cloud, where it all lives. Next, you have the model itself, the actual brain of the operation. And finally, the application layer, which is how people actually use it. A weak link in any one of these can take the whole thing down.
So how in the world do you defend all these layers? Well, here's a pretty solid 3-step approach. First, you use a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. This basically forces the AI to check its facts against a trusted source of info, which stops it from making stuff up. We call those hallucinations. Second, you're constantly fine-tuning the model with good, clean, secure data. And third, you put in human guardrails. You filter what goes in, you review what comes out. It's that final common sense check.
Okay, so we've gotten into some of the technical weeds. Let's pull back up and talk strategy. Because look, having the right tech is great, but it's only half the equation. You absolutely need the right mindset and a solid way to make decisions.
You know, when you really boil it down, security decisions tend to come from one of these 3 places. Are you just trying to check a box for compliance to avoid a fine? Are you focused on managing a specific, scary risk you've identified? Or are you hope-driven, maybe building a cool pilot project to show everyone how valuable this stuff is so you can get more buy-in? The real magic happens when you find a healthy balance between all 3.
And when you get that balance right, oh man, the return on investment is just massive. Let's just run through the numbers real quick. First off, a 75% drop in security incidents when you're using AI for defense. I mean, that is a total game changer. Next up, speed. We're talking a 60% faster response time when something bad actually happens. In a crisis, every single second is critical.
And to top it all off, a 40% jump in operational efficiency. When you automate all that boring, repetitive stuff, your best people are free to focus on the real threats. The numbers, they just don't lie.
But here's the thing. You don't get these kinds of results by going all or nothing. As this quote says so well, a moderate yet firm strategy is the one that lasts. If you try to push too hard, too fast, people get annoyed, and you end up breaking things. A balanced, steady, firm approach is how you build a security culture that actually sticks around.
So with that strategy in mind, let's get into the nuts and bolts of actually building up your defenses. This is all about having a solid plan and, maybe even more importantly, having the right partners in your corner.
Any really strong security program lives by this 5-stage cycle. It all starts with preparation, way before an attack ever happens. Then it's about being fast to detect and contain a threat. After you've cleaned up the mess and you're back online, you get to the most important step, the post-mortem. That's where you ask, what do we learn, so you can get stronger? It's this constant loop, right? You're always learning, always getting better.
And look, you just can't do this stuff alone. A real partnership in security goes way beyond a contract or a service-level agreement. It's about having someone you can call who will have your back when everything hits the fan. That kind of trust, that's something you build over time, long before you're in the middle of a 5-alarm fire.
And speaking of the future, the next giant wave is already forming on the horizon: quantum computing. And I know it sounds like science fiction, but this is real, and it's coming. This timeline shows that we expect to see quantum computers that can break the encryption we use today within the next decade. The time to start thinking and planning for a quantum-safe world is, well, right now. So, everything we've talked about, the tech, the strategy, the partners, it's all geared towards building one single thing: a resilient future. A future where your business can not only survive an attack, but actually come out stronger on the other side.
Okay, so what can you actually do? Here's your action plan. Right now, in the next 3 months, figure out your biggest risks and patch your most urgent holes. Then, in the next 6 months, start getting the right tools and training your people. Over the next year, you can really start rolling out those AI security solutions. And the long-term goal? To become a true leader in your industry. This is your roadmap.
So as we start to wrap this up, let's just remember those 4 pillars that hold this whole thing up. You need solid governance, a commitment to innovation, a powerful ecosystem of partners you trust, and the mindset that this is a journey, not a destination. You have to be continuously evolving.
But in the end, it all comes back to this one powerful idea. While all the tools and partners are absolutely essential, your greatest support, your biggest asset, is the strength you build inside your own organization. That internal resilience is what will give you the power to face whatever comes next with total confidence.